Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, July 19th, 2021. This is live stream number 678. Tonight, I'm actually going to be taking a first look at Under Falling Skies, which is from Czech Games Edition. So that is going to be on the near horizon here. Of course, I also will be sharing some of the latest tabletop gaming news of the day. So if this is your first time joining me, do want to point out that I will take a look at Under Falling Skies in a little bit. It's usually about a half hour, 35 minutes that I do the news. So keep that in mind. So if you're tuning in thinking I'm diving right on into the game, that is not the case. So anyway, do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. That's right, this review will be up tomorrow morning. So if you want to find out what I think of the expandable card game from Renegade Game Studios, by all means, please tune in and check that out. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Of course, also should mention that this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. Tonight, the Madman is first out the gate hanging out in chat. Good to see ya. The Motor City Madman is with us, who also happens to be one of our chat moderators. So before I jump into the news, I got to point out, this has just not been a great weekend for a multitude of reasons, which I will talk about one of them after the news. But first off, I should point out that normally what I do is I use clippers to trim my hair. So, yeah, I know. It's the past few years, I figured, yeah, why go, blow $25 for somebody to just kind of use clippers on my hair? I just do it myself. So this weekend, in fact, it was yesterday, I was doing my thing with the clippers, and there's a guard on it. I think they call it a guard, or I forget. I think it's a guard. It's got the little teeth. It comes in the multiple sizes, so for the length of how you're cutting the hair. So I'm finishing up. I'm almost done. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I need to get this side a little more. And I go, and the guard popped off. I didn't know it. It had kind of slipped off. So here I was using the clipper without anything on there. So the clipper actually went bzzz. And then as I brought the clipper down, the guard fell up. It just went flying off. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, zoinks. And of course, I had a nice patch that was all down to the scalp. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? There's no way to hide it. So if anybody is planning on maybe producing Uncle Fester the early years, or maybe you need someone to play Lex Luthor, just let me know. Although I have to say, it's pretty funny. In just one day, my hair does grow pretty damn fast, so I'm not super concerned. Of course, it's pretty stupid, right? It's kind of like, yeah, nice going, dummy. But I mean, in the great scheme of things, it's nothing, nothing terrible. But I mean, it's kind of like, wow, 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 wow. But I was going to say yesterday, because I shot my review for Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. That's why I'm telling you it'll be up tomorrow morning. You can check it out. You couldn't pick up anything on camera. It looked like I was bald. So in just a few hours, got quite a bit of it coming. You can at least see there's a little bit of stubble here. Really wasn't there yesterday. So, hey, at least I can now wear this Chicago Wolves hat that I picked up without putting on before. That would not fit. So let's try to get that on here right. So feels very weird. I also have to point out, so yesterday, I usually have a fan blowing on me in my bedroom when I'm reading and stuff like that. And the fan was blowing on me, and I'm on my laptop, and like, man, I thought it was like, wow, kind of chilly in here tonight. Especially my head feels chilly. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I don't have any air up there anymore. So, Steve Park Smith is joined us in chat. JP Falconer Honor, JPF has joined us as well. So, Steve says he hopes I'm feeling much better. I am feeling good. I am feeling pretty good. I haven't had, it's kind of funny because the doctor said, hey, you're going to have days that are going to be bad days. I have not had any bad days. I haven't had any at all. So there are days I have more energy than other days, but I haven't had days where I'm like, So fingers crossed. Of course, now I'm going to, say that, and tomorrow I'll be like, So the madman says that he used to use clippers on his hair until he started losing his hair on top, and then he just shaved it all off. So JPF says that's his look all the time, too, because he's going bald. Uh-huh. So the madman says, if I don't shave my head for 2 days, it acts like Velcro. Yeah, it does feel kind of like Velcro. Omanal has joined us. Very cool. Good to see you, Omanal. We haven't seen you in a few shows. Good to have you back. So, summer mohair is cooler. I assume it's supposed to be no hair is cooler. Yeah, well, unfortunately, here in the Chicago area, it has not been all that warm. Today was in the 80s. I think tomorrow we'll crack 90. But for about 10 days, we have been under the seasonal average. So Omanal says they've been working. I get it. I understand we're working out. All right, let's jump on into the news because I got quite a bit of news tonight. And I've got some Pathfinder and Starfinder news, so I'm warning you ahead of time. If you need to go get yourself an adult beverage or make a sandwich, just wait. Just wait a couple of news pieces, and then I've got my Paizo stuff. So if you're not interested in it, it's going to be your break time. All right. So first off, Wise Wizard Games, which used to be White Wizard Games, will be releasing expansion to the Sorcerer board game this fall. Here's the latest on Sorcerer Endbringer. Sorcerer is a beautifully crafted Victorian-era dark fantasy game where players take on the role of evil sorcerers battling for control of the mortal realm. Create a new sorcerer each game by combining a character, a lineage, and a domain deck. You'll summon horrific minions to different battlefields and do battle using custom dice. In the Endbringer expansion, combined with the Sorcerer base game, 1 to 3 players will team up to battle against a crazed demigod known as a man-eater. You'll create this adversary by combining a nemesis, who they are, with an aspect, what army they lead, and a scenario, what are they doing? For example, you might battle Erling Khan, the Death Dealer, who is leading the invasion. Sorcerer Endbringer is for 1 to 3 players, ages 14 and up. It's going to carry an MSRP of $49.95. It is slotted to arrive in Q4. Do want to mention, I did review Sorcerer, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty cool game. I know right after it came out, they had some releases. They had some like little decks because the character, the realm, and then because it's essentially you've got the character, you've got kind of like their realm, and then you've got like their book of magic, the school of magic. I know they say it like domain or whatever. And I don't know how much they released after that. But I know they released, I think, like 2 or 3 additional sorcerers and these 3 little booster decks that would come out with them. And like I said, I really thought the game was pretty cool. I don't have any clue if I'll get to check this out, but I would be very interested. So if you have not checked out Sorcerer, give the review a peek. Because like I said, I did find it to be pretty interesting. All right, so some discussion of the weather in chat. Madman saying there's been a lot of rain. Yeah, we had quite a bit of rain. Of course, I'm not that far from the Madman. He's in the Detroit area. I'm in the Chicago area. So Omanal says Texas has also been quite wet. Hey, at least we're not over there in Europe, in Germany. Oh, my gosh. That is terrible. All right, on to the next news piece. This October is going to bring a new supplement for Dungeons & Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. Here's the dope on Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Discover how dragons embody magic across the worlds of Dungeons & Dragons and how you can bring them to life at your table in this quintessential reference guide for the world's greatest role-playing game. Meet Fizban the Fabulous, doddering archmage, unlikely hero of the War of the Lance, divine avatar of a dragon god, and your guide to the mysteries of dragonkind in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Meet Fizban the Fabulous. He's your guide to the worlds of D&D. What is the difference between a red dragon and a gold dragon? What is dragon sight? How does the magic that suffuses dragons impact the world around them? Here's your comprehensive guide to dragons, filled with the tips and tools dungeon masters and players need for their encounters with these dangerous magical creatures. Dragon slayers and dragon scholars alike will appreciate the new dragon-themed options for players eager to harness the power of dragon magic and create unique and memorable draconic characters. Dungeon masters will discover a rich hoard of new tools and information for designing dragon-themed encounters, adventures, and campaigns. Discover a host of new dragons and other creatures. Learn about the layers and hordes of each type of dragon and how hordes focus the magic that suffuses dragons and connects them to the myriad worlds of the material plane. Discover everything there is to know about the most iconic monsters of D&D with help from Fizban, your expert advisor on dragonkind. Features of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. It introduces gem dragons to 5th edition, reveals the story of the first world and the role of Bahamut and Tiamat, and the role that they played in its creation and destruction. Adds new player character options, including unique draconic I almost said anniversaries. Draconic Ancestries for Dragonborn, dragon-themed subclasses for monks and rangers, and new feat and spell options. Offers everything a dungeon master needs to craft adventures inspired by dragons across the worlds of D&D, with new dragon lair maps and details on 20 different kinds of dragons. Presents a complete dragon bestiary and introduces a variety of new dragons and dragon-related creatures, including aspects of the dragon gods, dragon minions, and more. The hardcover book is going to be available in standard and alternate art covers, which right there, that is the alternate art cover you're taking a peek at. And we'll see the standard cover in a second, or two, or three. It's going to carry an MSRP of $49.95 when it arrives on October 19th. So there are a couple of things that I'm kind of thinking about this. And I am not going to knock this book because I haven't seen the book. I just don't think this is going to be a big seller. Now, granted, there are player-facing options in this book, and we do know that Wizards of the Coast tends to sell more books that are player-focused as opposed to DM-focused or adventures. I don't know. I don't know. Now, I agree with Omenal. There's some cool artwork in here, and it could be very interesting. And I'm not saying it's not going to sell. I'm just saying that I don't think it's going to be as big a seller as other D&D books tend to be. Like, say, Tasha's Guide to Everything. I think Tasha's Guide to Everything is sold really well, even though I didn't think it was a great book. I thought it was all right. But, so, Omenal says, yeah, they agree. It's more of kind of a niche. Yeah, it sort of is. So here's the second thing. So I am not super, I don't know, enmeshed in D&D lore of all the various different editions. So correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Fizban or Fizban or whatever, I just assumed it's Fizban. Isn't he from Dragonlance? Isn't he a character from Dragonlance? Which kind of leads me to believe that we are going to see a Dragonlance release from Wizards of the Coast sooner rather than later. That's so. So, Omenal says, yes, he is. He is from, oh my gosh. I guess Omenal is an expert on Dragonlance because he's like, yeah, he was Bahamut. See, this is long after I, moved on to Call of Cthulhu. So my good buddy, Scott Weigel, who I went to high school with, has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Scott. Scott says if the book has lots of art, may sell to have instead of for use. Oh, so I think Scott was typing that people might pick up the book for the artwork as opposed for, necessarily using it. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too. So Scott also says that Fizban or Fizban is from Dragonlance. Know a lot of people are pushing, they want Dragonlance. Once again, I have never, I think I read one book. I think I read, sometimes all these role-playing game releases kind of just become one. I believe that wasn't Dragonlance the first release for it. Wasn't it a box set? I think I read that. But of course, the knock against that was always, it was just all railroad. Which of course, if you think about it, once we hit 86, most of the D&D adventures were kind of. So Scott asked, didn't Wizards of the Coast settle with Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman? Yes, they did. They did settle. And that's another reason why I really do think Dragonlance is in the cards. So Omenal says it was the modules first. Okay, cool. I mean, like I said, I'll be the first to admit when I don't know something and I'm like, I think it was this. I seem to remember this. Maybe I'm mixing it up with the Greyhawk release because I know Greyhawk was a box because I had that. I know I had that. All right, so I was giving a little love to Wizards of the Coast and D&D. They get a news piece, so let's spread the love to the other big fantasy role-playing game company out there because September's got plenty of role-playing game action and adventure coming from Paizo Inc. Once again, there's a lot of releases, so if you need to go grab yourself an adult beverage, make a sandwich, if you have no interest in Paizo, take a little bit of a break from the show. Otherwise, kick back. I'm going to dive in because here, well, I'm going to actually take a sip first. We're going to get to see just how strong my voice has gotten. It has gotten better. You could probably tell my voice has gotten much stronger than it had been for first, 3 weeks after the bypass surgery. So we're gonna test it here. We're gonna see. Okay, I'm getting loosened up because it's a bunch of stuff. Anyway, here are the latest major releases, which are coming in September for Pathfinder and Starfinder. First off, we've got the Pathfinder Lost Omens, The Grand Bazaar. Be the first to market with Pathfinder Lost Omens, The Grand Bazaar. The Grand Bazaar is Absalom's greatest marketplace, featuring items from all over Golarion. Here, an adventurer can find equipment of all kinds to help them on their next quest, like new weapons, armors, magic items, accessibility items to enable adventures for anyone, new animal companions, and more. The Grand Bazaar is also home to countless unique merchants and shops. Game masters can use these new shops as part of their campaigns to flesh out the world and inspire new adventures. See what's for sale at the Grand Bazaar and snap up the good deals while you still can. The MSRP for the hardcover will be $34.99. Then we've got the Pathfinder Adventure Path number 171, Hurricanes Howl, which is part 3 of 6 for the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path. The students become the masters. Lore speakers are the teachers of the Magambia School of Magic, and the heroes have graduated and joined their ranks. Sent with their students to the edge of the Moangai Expanse, these new teachers must unearth ancient ruins while keeping themselves and their students out of danger. When a student vanishes, the heroes uncover a nefarious plot to subjugate the rain-lashed, sodden lands. They must liberate a town, stop an evil cult, and show their students how heroes stand as wardens of the world. Hurricanes Howl is a Pathfinder adventure for 4 8th-level characters. This adventure continues the Strength of Thousands Adventure Path, a 6-part monthly campaign in which the heroes rise from humble Magic Academy students to influential teachers and ultimately decide the fate of the Magambia. This adventure also presents a comprehensive gazetteer of a Soddenlands town, as well as new monsters and new rules flying in on the hurricane's winds. Each monthly full-color softcover Pathfinder Adventure Path volume, say that 5 times fast, contains an in-depth adventure scenario, stats for several new monsters, and support articles meant to give game masters additional material to expand their campaign. Pathfinder Adventure Path volumes use the open game license and work with both the Pathfinder RPG and the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game. You know how Paizo refers to D&D as the oldest fantasy game? And of course, Wizards of the Coast refers to D&D as the greatest fantasy role-playing game. I find that funny. I always like when I run into that. All right, so this adventure path is going to carry an MSRP of $24.99 in softcover. I don't have it exactly if it's what the MSRP for the PDF is. I assume it's $17.99, like they always are. Then we've got the Pathfinder Fists of the Ruby Phoenix Pawn Collection. Step into the arena and pit your players against ruthless rivals from the Fists of the Ruby Phoenix Adventure Path. Hi-ya! The Fist of the Ruby Phoenix Pawn Collection features more than 170 creature pawns for use with the Pathfinder role-playing game or any tabletop fantasy RPG. Printed on sturdy cardstock, each pawn presents a beautiful full-color image of a monster or NPC from the Fist of the Ruby Phoenix campaign. Wah! Including malevolent martial artists, charming challengers, and brutal beasts to meet, beat, and defeat in the Grand Arena. The Fist of the Ruby Phoenix Pawn Collection, together with the creatures from the Pathfinder Bestiary Pawn Box, provides pawns for nearly all Fist of the Ruby Phoenix encounters. Each cardstock pawn slots into a size-appropriate plastic base from any of the Bestiary Pawn Box or the Pathfinder Pawns base assortment, making the pawns easy to mix with traditional metal or plastic miniatures. With tons of distinct images, the Fist of the Ruby Phoenix Pawn Collection brings to life the enemies and allies from all three adventures from the Fist of the Ruby Phoenix Adventure Path. Wah! It's going to carry an MSRP of $24.99. Then we got the Pathfinder Flip Tiles, Fortress Walls, and Towers expansion. A fortress is only as strong as its walls and towers, and it's here that many battles for a castle's control are won or lost. Pathfinder Flip Tiles, Fortress Walls, and Towers expansion provides beautifully illustrated 6-inch by 6-inch map tiles that can be used to expand your fortress with a variety of defensive walls, stairways, watchtowers, and more. Inside, you'll find 24 richly crafted double-sided map tiles. This expansion set, along with the Pathfinder Flip Tiles Fortress Starter Set, allows you to create fortress maps quickly. So stop your sketching and start your flipping today. The Fortress Walls and Towers expansion set includes defensive walls, stairs and rubble, tower rooftops, archer posts, fortress entrances, and an open courtyard. Suitable for experienced game masters and novices alike, this product fits perfectly into any game master's arsenal. Wet, dry, and permanent markers erase from the tiles, and these double-sided dungeon tiles come in convenient packaging for easy storage. So add some peril to your wilderness. The flip tiles are going to carry an MSRP of $19.99. So we also got the Pathfinder Flip Mat Classics Thieves Guild. Whether your players are plumbing the depths of a treasure vault or escaping through a sewer, no game master wants to spend time drawing sites for the complex maze of a Thieves Guild. Fortunately, with Pablo, I was doing so well. Hadn't stumbled over anything. Yowza. Fortunately, with Paizo Publishing's latest Pathfinder Flip Mat, I can tell that this has been cut and pasted, I should say, from original Pathfinder, because Paizo doesn't refer to themselves as Paizo Publishing anymore. They refer to themselves as Paizo Inc. Anyway, this latest wink wink Pathfinder Flip Mats, you don't have to draw any sites. This line of gaming maps provides ready-to-use and captivatingly detailed fantasy set pieces for the busy game master. Whether it's used for a full-on invasion of a Thieves Guild's headquarters, a la Fafhrd and the Grey Mouse, or tracking down a burglar, this double-sided map is the perfect place for larcenous adventure. Don't waste your time sketching when you could be playing. With Pathfinder Flip Mat Classics Thieves Guild, you'll be ready next time your players dare to oppose the city's criminals. Special coating on each flip mat allows you to use wet erase, dry erase, and permanent markers with ease. Each flip mat measures 24 inches by 30 inches unfolded and 8 inches by 10 inches folded. On tabletops across the world, the flip mat revolution is changing the way players run their fantasy role-playing games. Why take the time to sketch out ugly scenery on a smudgy plastic mat when dynamic encounters and easy cleanup is just a flip away? The classic flip mat does carry an MSRP of $14.99. On to Starfinder. We have 3 Starfinder releases this coming September. First off, we've got the Starfinder adventure, The Liberation of Locus 1. Welcome to Locus 1, a research station on the frontier, using magic and science to study a strange cosmological phenomenon known only as the Locus. But the inhabitants of Locus 1 are far from civilization, and they have a problem. Pirates, led by a fierce Vesk captain from her starship, the Executioner. They're terrorizing the system from a hidden base. That's no moon! And the station's science council has turned the Aslanti Empire for help. Now deadly aliens are rampaging on the station. Xenodruids have gone missing, and the Aslanti have established an asteroid labor camp on a nearby planet. Locus 1 needs heroes. Will you answer the call, facing both the Executioner and the Aslanti Empire in battle? The Liberation of Locus 1 is a complete Starfinder adventure for 4th level characters, written by Chris Sims and featuring strange new alien creatures, new spells and equipment, and details on Locus 1 and the surrounding worlds. A rich setting that will take players many game sessions to fully explore. This will carry an MSRP of $22.99. Next up, we've got the Starfinder Alien Archive 1 and 2 battle cards. Keep the aliens of the Starfinder role-playing game close at hand with this massive collection of over 200 reference cards, featuring every extraterrestrial creature from Starfinder Alien Archive and Alien Archive 2. Each 4-inch by 6-inch card is printed on sturdy cardstock and features a beautiful full-color image of a Starfinder creature on one side, while the other side provides that creature's statistics for quick and easy reference. With each encounter, show the players what their characters are facing, while keeping the monster's abilities at the ready, and watch your games come alive. This box set will carry an MSRP of $59.99. Then finally, we also have the Starfinder Flip Mat Space Colony. Whether the heroes are investigating the mysterious disappearance of the lost colony's inhabitants, or looking to put down their own roots on some distant planet, no game master wants to spend time drawing every prefab building and power generator. Fortunately, with Paizo's latest Starfinder Flip Mat, you don't have to. This line of gaming maps provides ready-to-use science fantasy set pieces for the busy game master. This double-sided map features 2 newly established colonial settlements. Don't waste time sketching when you could be playing. With Starfinder Flip Mat Space Colony, you'll be ready the next time your players want to settle a new world. That will that will carry an MSRP of $14.99. Whew, there you go. That is what we've got coming from Paizo Inc. for both Starfinder and Pathfinder this September. So Omanal says, okay, do Conan 2D20 as they release all their books. I gotta be honest, I don't think Modifius has that many Conan books left. Maybe 3? Because they've released a lot. And I do tend to share the news when they do release one of their Conan books. I think the latest one, was it Conan the Thief? Maybe. Clint Gibson's with us in chat. Good to see you, Clint. Let me take a quick peek, see if anybody else popped in while I was going through that 20-minute spiel about the latest Paizo stuff. Hey, we'll get to see some of this stuff. I don't know. We'll get to see, probably some of this stuff. According to my contact at Paizo, they're going to be far more on top of things as far as review copies going out. We'll see. Keldon has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Keldon. Thanks for stopping on in. Clint was talking about that he might fall asleep. So spent the weekend camping at a drive-in 8 hours away for the last drive-in with Joe Bob. Ha, ha, ha. That's pretty wild. That's actually very cool. Yes, I know Joe Bob, it's hosts the show on Shudder, if I remember correctly. So he's been doing that a long time. He has been doing that quite a long time. All right. Anyway, all of these, as once again, these Pathfinder and Starfinder releases are going to hit stores in early September. Moving right along, continuing our look at role-playing game releases, there's a new source book for Castle Falkenstein from R. Talsorian Games. It's available in print and PDF. Here's the dope on Curious Creatures. Explore the wild side of Castle Falkenstein. From the darkest jungles, Falkenstein. I never know which one to say. Let's just go with Falkenstein. From the darkest jungles of Africa to the rooftops of London, animals are everywhere in the world of Castle Falkenstein. Curious Creatures offers a glimpse into the less civilized side of the great game, drawing into the light the marvelous, the monstrous, and the mythic for your edification and delight. Brought to you from across the fairy veil and written by one of the most knowledgeable naturalists of all time, the reader will find within these pages a bestiary offering in-depth analysis of over 30 new creatures, as well as statistics for their inclusion in your adventure entertainments. New and clarified rules for the use of creatures of all types. A new magic lore book, as well as insight in the existence of sorceress familiars. Details on sphinxes, a potentially sinister power operating from the shadows. Rules on choosing a true unicorn, beast folk, or wild child as a dramatic character. Plus, dinosaurs. Curious Creatures is the definitive bestiary for Castle Falkenstein, the game of high adventure in the Steam age. This 146-page book is available from DriveThruRPG. You can get it as a full-color softcover for $20, or you can score it in PDF for $7.99. Sweet. Always good to see some new Castle Falkenstein releases. So, because I know a lot of people just think R. Talsorian just focuses on Cyberpunk and The Witcher. And to be honest, there haven't been a ton of Witcher releases. So more along the lines of they focus on Cyberpunk. So it's nice to see Castle Falkenstein getting some love from R. Talsorian Games. Sweet. All right, my final news piece. Popular author M.T. Black has released a new supplement for Dungeons & Dragons. Here's the skinny on the Iskandar City Sourcebook. Explore a wondrous new city in this sourcebook for the world's greatest role-playing game. And it's not even Wizards of the Coast saying that. Iskandar, city of the shining spires, where merchants are masters and coin is king, but thieves and assassins rule the night, where gods and priests walk side by side even as unspeakable wealth peers down upon crushing poverty, where guilds and great houses spar for political supremacy, while fiendish hordes muster just over the horizon. Iskandar, home to all that is wondrous, noble, and laudable, and all that is lewd, wanton, and vile. Iskandar City Sourcebook offers an in-depth description of this superb new fantasy city. Alongside the setting lore, this guide is packed with content that can be used in any 5th edition game, including 3 new races, Kith, Vigar, and Vatborn, 3 new subclasses, Night Domain, Blade Dancer, and Cinderwood Knight, a uniquely detailed NPC generator, 100 city-based encounters, 19 detailed city locations, 18 character vignettes, and 17 adventure seeds, as well as random tables to create taverns, ships, religious festivals, academies, guilds, and much more. Welcome to Iskandar, the greatest city in the world. This 112-page source book is available in PDF over at DriveThruRPG. Strangely enough, it is a big deal over at DriveThruRPG, not so on Dungeon Masters Guild, which is usually where you would think this would pop up. Don't know. But you can grab it for $4.95 pretty sweet deal. And I have to say, MT Black is a very, very popular Dungeons and Dragons author. Nah. So, anyway, there's some discussion of Joe Bob Briggs, and is it Falkenstein? Is it Falkenstein? It's Frankenstein. All right, that is it for the news tonight. Hey, made it through it all. Wow. Ay. So I am going to be jumping into taking a look at Under Falling Skies in just a moment. But did want to mention a few other things. So I heard that Andrew Hackard over at Steve Jackson Games passed away over the weekend. So I guess he passed away on Saturday. Sorry to hear that. Even though Steve Jackson Games can't stand me, or at least they act like they can't stand me, I interviewed Andrew a few times, and he was a pretty good interview. He was pretty entertaining. So Flaming Aaron says, "Damn, I just noticed your hair." What hair? What are you talking about? You'll have to go and check out the beginning of the show. I explained what happened. As mentioned, I didn't have the greatest of weekends. So better than Andrew Hacker's weekend. You know, don't mean to like be flippant there, but like I said, you know, so big deal. I messed up my hair and I had to shave it all off. No big deal. Way worse things could be happening. Disavow 92 has popped in to join us as well. All right, so I got some bad news over the weekend as well, that Elliot is not going to be joining me for Gen Con. Not even to get into it. It's just, you know, it's ridiculousness. It's not his fault. But it's one of these, you know, got to keep the spouse happy kind of thing. So anyway, so that's a bummer. That is a huge bummer because there goes the guy who's paying half of the hotel, which I had upgraded the hotel to the Crown Plaza across the street from the convention center. So Flaming Heron says, is that going to make Gen Con harder? As I say hello to Flaming Heron, who has joined us. He's our other chat moderator. I have covered Gen Con in the past by myself. Basically, I just have to lug around a tripod, and that's it. I mean, it's not that huge a deal. It's just, it is a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the ass not having somebody who's the cameraman to help you out, because it is 1 year I had to cover it by myself, and I had people who were walking by doing that in front of the camera as they walked past. I had somebody who should have known better, because they were actually somebody in the industry from another game company who walked past, interrupted the interview that I was doing, and then like tapped the camera so that it was off center for the rest of the interview. But that's okay. His company went belly up. So there's that. And yeah, it's just kind of a pain in the ass. So I don't know. But I have an extra press pass for Gen Con. So and 1-2 Cub has joined us. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. I believe this is your first time visiting. Says spouse vetoes after reservations are made aren't allowed. Yes, I wish. So I'm now saying giveaway. I don't know if I want to just do a giveaway, because if I get somebody a press pass, they're going to have to give me a hand. They're not going to have to hang out with me all day long, but they're going to have to help me out for a few hours every day. So there's that. So if somebody out there was like, hey, you know, I'd really like to go to Gen Con, drop me a line. Say something in the comments section. Because like I said, I've got an extra pass. And my nephew Cameron, who I'm going to talk about in just a moment, he's not going to be back from his Air National Guard training until November. So anyway, yeah. And then my brother is only, sometimes my brother will go, but he's only good for like a day or two and then he leaves. So Flaming Heron says, damn, I want to go to any cons at the moment. Going stir crazy. I know. Yeah, it's the whole COVID thing his wife is freaked out about. And the funny thing is, we're both vaccinated. I understand that Gen Con is going to require proof of vaccination to get in. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not going to really say much more about it because I think part of it's bullshit, but you know, it's just, so we're going to see what happens. He's going to continue to work on his, you know, maybe, but it's not going to happen. So, Umnal says, love to go, but the drive is a bit much. I'm going to fly. Usually I drive down there, but I figure, for one, I don't need a car to drive to a hotel because I'm right across the street from the convention center. Why pay $28 a day to park when I'm not going to be driving anywhere except back home? And so I'm going to fly. It's 40 minutes. So... But the only thing that I have a problem there is when I get stuff to review, because I'll get review copies of stuff, I'm going to have to ship it back. So, and I know shipping stuff from Gen Con is not cheap. So, Keldon says your arms will be so tired. Yes. All right, last thing before I jump into the unboxing for Under Falling Skies. Oh, I guess I should mention that no show Wednesday. Wednesday is my dad's 85th birthday, so we are going to have a birthday dinner on Wednesday. I'm going to have a show on Thursday. I will roll out a show on Thursday. Do want to mention that. I will mention it again as I wrap up. So Flaming Heron says, weird that you say the whole vaccination bit is a bit whacked. Apparently can't fly into America no matter if we're vaccinated because the vaccine we have isn't good enough for you guys. Hey, our vaccine isn't good enough for, 40-some% of the people who live here. 30-some%, about 38%. Yeah, okay. So the madman's wishing my dad a happy birthday. Thank you. So, all right. Anyway, last thing. So I had heard through the grapevine that my nephew Cameron had been running Dungeons and Dragons. He's calling it Dungeons and Dragons, but it's sort of like make up the rules as you go, flipping a coin to resolve actions with his fellow recruits. So I talked to him yesterday and said, Flaming Heron's also wishing my dad a happy birthday. Yes, thank you. And I have to laugh because I was talking to Cameron yesterday, and I said, so did I hear right? Were you running role-playing games, like, you know, off the top of your head? He's like, yeah. He said, you know, I don't have any dice or anything. So we were just like flipping coins. Then it'd be like, oh, well, you got to get so many, like, you got to get 2 out of 3 or whatever. And I was like, oh. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, what are you doing as far as adventures? So he's like, oh, I'm just, you know, using adventures that you ran. Well, how much I remember from them. I'm like, oh, I see. So his birthday's coming up. So I asked him, I said, I just did a review for, in fact, I got it sitting right here. Let me grab this. The White Box Fantastic Medieval Adventures role-playing game, which I really like. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really, really well put together. I mean, it's OD&D, essentially. So I said, hey, why don't I send you, because it was like $4.30 on Amazon. I mean, it's a slamming deal. I said, you want me to send you a little book that's got some rules and stuff? He's like, yeah, that'd be great. So I also ordered him 7 bags of dice, because you can get them dirt cheap on Amazon. So Flaming Heron says, does he want some dice? You've given him enough. The thing is, he doesn't have any dice with him. So, and of course, all his stuff is like packed away. Nobody knows where they'd find it. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, I'll send you sets of dice, but what you got to do, because I guess it's like all these different recruits playing. Well, I guess they're not recruits anymore. They're in their MOS training. If they even call it that anymore, I don't know. Madman, you got to help me out here. So I said, what you do is make sure that you get the dice back at the end of the night. Don't let anybody take the dice. Don't give your friends sets of dice, because you will never see them again. And I said, you're going to go from having 7 sets of dice to like 3 sets of dice and like 8 players. Because I guess he's got a lot of people playing. So I said, all right. So that's what I did. And then I also sent him a copy, which I ordered a copy myself, of the hardcover for The Monsters Know What They're Doing. So because it's like $14 in hardcover on Amazon, it's usually like $30. And I saw, wow, they had it on sale. So I was like, yeah, what the hell? Send it to him. I just wanted to just, me personally, I don't know how much I'd used it, but I've heard good things about it. So I'll do a review of it. All right. Anyway, so Flaming Heron says, nothing worse. Friends can never be trusted with dice. No, they cannot. They cannot. So the Madman says, it's been a long time since they served, so they are not sure if it's still called like an MOS. Something, I don't know. I don't even remember what MOS stood for. I remember taking the ASVAB. I was actually considered going into the Navy out of high school, and I will not tell you what my ASVAB test was, but the first thing the recruiter said to me after the test score came in was, are you a genius? I was like, all right. So Keldon says, Omenal said it. If he's learning MOS, it sounds like he's at AIT. Yeah, he's learning DOS. He's taking care of his DOS. All right, so without further ado, let's jump on in, because we're going to take a look at Under Falling Skies from Czech Game Editions. It is designed by, and I am going to mispronounce all of these folks' names, Tomas Olier, with art provided by Kwanchai Moria and Peter Bohasik. My apologies for messing those up. The game is for one player. It's a single player, ages 12 and up. Plays around 20 to 40 minutes, does carry an MSRP of $29.95. This game is out now. In fact, I actually had sent this out to somebody who wanted to be a reviewer for the Gaming Gang. And that was months ago. And this has happened like a few times that I finally had to start threatening people to get shit back, because they never did anything with it. So let's swing on over to the other camera, because here we've got Under Falling Skies from Czech Games Edition. I've heard really, really good things about this. So here's the odd thing about this. So this is a demo copy. I also received a shrink wrapped copy. So this is a demo copy that is supposed to be used for reviews because there are some things in here for the storyline that Czech Games did not want to leak. So it's like covered up or like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. So we'll jump on into the back of the box. Says aliens have arrived to conquer Earth. Enemy ships fill the skies. Humanity retreats to underground bunkers across the globe, hoping to develop a weapon that will stop the invaders. Buy yourself time by shooting down enemy ships. Dig your base deeper to expand your capabilities. In this dedicated solo game, every action you take moves the enemy ships closer to the city you're trying to defend. Higher die rolls give you more powerful actions, but also make the ships descend faster. Use your rerolls wisely, and you might just be able to save your planet. I think there's different missions in this. So Omenal says it looks like Shuffleboard meets Space Invaders. I understand this game is inspired by Space Invaders. That's for sure. So, yes. So the Madman and Scott point out that, yes, it should still be MOS, Military Occupational Specialty Code. So Omenal says AIT is Advanced Individual Training. Navy used rate in lieu of MOS. Don't know if the Air Force is different. I think he goes to AIT for like a month. So I think he does that come October. So I know he's out of basic, but he's in training for his specialty. And then after that, he has a month of I think it's AIT. I think he's mentioned it's called AIT. All right, let's jump on in, take a peek. So we've got our rules of play. So we'll take a quick peek through here, showing us the setup, gameplay. I have to say that the games that I have played from Czech Games Edition are really good. Lost Ruins of, or is it just Ruins of Arnak? It's really good. Really enjoyed it. So Scott says Air Force's AFSC, Air Force Specialty Codes. Yeah, but he's Air Force Reserve. No, I'm sorry. He's Air National Guard. He's not, I don't know. He's still considered part of the Air Force, I guess. Scott points out half his roommates in college were military. So we have the mothership phase. Talking about the full game, threat levels. Threat level midnight. Cities, robots. A little comic strip. Here, talking about the campaign. There. So we're going to see that stuff is kind of like blurred out. Because right here, this is just blurred out. It's like a scenario card. So talking about starting the campaign and spicing up your standalone game. Wait, this is a demo copy. Says Under Falling Skies is carefully packed with a four-chapter campaign at the bottom. The chapters are meant to be revealed gradually as you progress through the campaign. This demo copy includes everything for a standard game and a taste of the campaign's first chapter, which can be taken out of the box. The rest of the game is blurred out to avoid spoilers. We recommend you don't unwrap it and leave it in the box. That's kind of funny. We will take a peek at it. I mean, this game's been out for a while. Czech Games sent this to me a while ago, and I thought, all right, I'll be a good guy and actually send somebody something to review that's not, hey, here's this roll and write game. So we got some wooden dice. I always find it strange when we run across companies that have wooden dice in their games. So Omenal says, I think we should have Space Invader music playing during the unboxing. Just just the special effects, just the sound effects. Boop, 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 boop. So this is like a little, like, it's kind of funny. Sort of here, it probably show up a little better there. It's almost like a little, like, lunar lander kind of thing. Like an all-terrain vehicle. All right, so we've got some alien ships. So we got these plastic alien ships. It's like we've got them in 3 colors. So orange must be probably a big bad. And we've got some markers here as well. We'll zoom back in. I'll show you the ships here. They're kind of cool detail on them. All right. Yes, it is the Lost Ruins of Arnak. Good game. Really good game. One of my favorite games of last year. Really, really enjoyed that a lot. If you have not checked out my review, take a peek because it is a lot of fun. All right. So we've got different cities. I'm sure Chicago won't be one of them. I'm sure it won't. All right, I'm just double checking, make sure everything's staying in focus. So it looks like we've got a bunch of these tiles. So yeah, there's New York. Gonna have New York. I'm kidding. I actually like New York. I'm a Chicagoan who has absolutely no problem with LA or New York. I actually like both cities. I don't know if I'd want to live there, but. So we got Washington, D.C. So we have a blue and we have a red side. So I guess blue is before things are getting blown up. And then that looks like a city in flames to me. So we got Washington, D.C. We've got Roswell, New Mexico. In flames. Is there even enough? Is there even enough there in Roswell to make the skyline look like that if everything was burning? I don't know. Then we got New York. See, I would have thought maybe they would have had some of the high rises destroyed there on that side. So we got a bunch of these. Still got more of these tiles. There we go. Oh, look at that. So I got to say, the component quality for the Czech games releases is really nice from what I've seen. This is just kind of a player aid. Dice phase, rooms phase, mothership phase. I don't know why it's not dual-sided, though. That's kind of odd. Anyway, so we've got a bunch of these different tiles. So this looks like these are the rooms for your base. Is this the same? No, it is different. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. And, of course, this looks like this would be pretty long. You're going to kind of just scale it on out because as we saw on the back, it ends up looking like this. So it looks like we've got 2 of these tiles, then our city, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and then we got the thing on top. Wild. That's pretty wild. Okay. Then we've got a little score pad, although there are only a few pages here. I think this is for a campaign. I think this is a campaign game pad. Okay, so we've got, there's the base. Here's some of the sky. Probably goes something along these lines. Where's the city? Betcha it's like this. Just like that. So we got the city, and then we've got these three, and then we got like a mothership up top. Nice. Very cool. Very, very solid cardstock. This will hold up to a lot of gameplay. Like I said, everything we're seeing here, just quality. Really, just quality overall. Oh, look, got another tile for our base. I wonder if you start off with like a certain base, and then you can, like, if you're playing the campaign, and then you can like improve it and upgrade these tiles. I don't know. But I do see that they are different. Okay, so here we've got, this is the 4-part campaign that's built into this. Okay, so here's... oh, no, what happened? The camera's out of focus. What happened? Look at that. So they actually did go through and completely... Look at that. That is wild. That is completely wild. I think that's really, really wild, because you got to keep in mind, they sent this out to every reviewer they sent a copy of. So they sent this out, which of course they had to produce, and essentially they're shoving all this useless cardboard in here. Because look, there's nothing on it. It's just all blurred. All of these. That is wild. I got to be honest, though. This is kind of wasteful. But I understand they didn't want spoilers for this campaign to come out. So what we'll do is we're just going to take a look at this first chapter. Because the thing is, I'm going to end up using this for the review as well. So, what is that, Thunderbolt Ross? That looks like Thunderbolt Ross right there. So it's like a TV. It's like, I don't know if it's like a weather helicopter or something. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. And the UFO's blowing up the Statue of Liberty. Damn you, aliens! And then Thunderbolt Ross down here says, I have. He's seen things like it. So here we have Chapter 1, The Invasion. So additional components, dice values, rooms with 2 effects, and Montreal. I thought we were showing New York. It says Montreal allows you to sum multiple rooms together if they all have the same effect. Let's say you want to use this ability while resolving a room with 2 effects, A and B. First, calculate the room's value. This is the base value for each effect. Then resolve A and B in either order. For each effect, you can sum it with other rooms of the same type. So that's kind of weird. So look at that. So, Mexico City. Mexico City, Montreal. Then we got more tiles. Oh, yeah. Jackson Moss. Yeah, okay. It's Thunderbolt Ross, people. Or it's Jonah Jameson if he joined the military. Very cool. I like this. This is very nice. So we got like little characters that we're going to utilize. Once again, these are blurred out because they're special for the campaign. I don't know, gang. I think this looks pretty wild. Let me, I'm going to switch back over to chat. So, because what I did is I actually, I've talked about it before, that the program that I use that I get to preview the stream is pretty small. And I actually recently shot a review video where I went through the whole video and I was all set up and did a really nice recording and was like, ah, shit, it's out of focus. Because I'm using the kit lens for the Panasonic G85. I usually use what's known as a prime lens. Doesn't have an autofocus when I'm shooting like books and things like that, because I know the size of the book is never going to change, right? So let's see what's going on in chat real quick. So Duststorm Roswell, says Umanal, says that the bifocals weren't working properly. Some blurred, others clear. Classic Thunderbolt Ross. What a character, says Keldon. So JPF says my voice is holding up quite well. As I had mentioned, I have noticed in the past 4 or 5 days, my voice has gotten very, very close. It's not quite there yet, but it is getting close to going back to normal. So, So it's showing that we have disconnected. So we'll see what's going on here. So chat's disconnected, but it's still showing that we have no drop frames and we are still streaming okay. So I don't know. This is weird how we've been seeing this happen with YouTube. So let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. So chat reconnected. Omanal says seeing the video just fine. Everything's still good. Yeah, because there's really not that much of a delay. There's about, I think altogether, I think it's a 4-second delay. So that's not too bad. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to give you a closer look at some of this stuff. I figure we could take a little more time than usual because, you know, I'm only doing 2 shows a week. All right. That's as close in as we're going to get. So kind of give you an idea of what these rooms look like. They've got some cool detail on here. It looks like these are gun emplacements, power generators, aircraft. These look like robots down here. I don't know, alien technology? I don't know. Kind of show you these. I think it's really interesting that we have these various different setups. I think that's pretty wild. These tiles just the outer space. You're just going to, no doubt, you're probably just moving the ships down towards you. Whoops, that's upside down. I guess we'll try to do it this way. So I see we've got these little explosions that have numbers on them, like 4, 5, 6, 3, 4. And we know you're like assigning dice to do things. I wonder if you assign dice to try to destroy ships that are in that spot. So speaking of the ships, give you a little better look at these. Kind of look like, they all look a little bit like the Cylon Raiders. So, especially from the original Battlestar Galactica. So that's kind of wild. And then here's that little like Land Rover right here. So this looks really cool. This looks very interesting. So I will be busting this out probably over the weekend. So hopefully I will have a review for you in the very near future. Of course, I'm not going to be playing this because this is the demo that's supposed to be used for reviews. I am going to actually play the full copy of the game, which I have, which I did not do an unboxing of because I don't want to give things away. Oops, I almost forgot. We've got the little score tally sheets. All right. So Omanal is rocking out. Good to see you again. Thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight. All right. And of course, as I mentioned, I will have a review of Under Falling Skies in the very near future. As I mentioned, I've heard really good things about this game. So stay tuned. All righty then. Moving right along. Oops. There we go. So if you tuned in late, real quick, just a recap. I was using a clipper on my hair because I usually just cut my own hair. And I was almost done. And I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was kind of like, yeah, I could use a little more over here. So I took the clipper and the guide or guard or whatever they call it, that's got the little teeth. They have different varying lengths that you can pop on there for the length of your hair. Well, somehow came off, which I didn't know. It had slipped off. So I went, yeah. So all of a sudden I was like, because as I lifted the clipper away, the guard goes dropping onto the floor. Well, the garage floor, because I tend to go out to the garage because then I just sweep up the hair. And I was like, and I'm like, oh no. I looked in the mirror and it's like this streak running up just and shorter than this, because actually I've had some hair grow in overnight. But it was like up to here. Like, so I'm like, well, there's nothing really I could do. I'm going to have to buzz it all off. I can walk around with this big strip. So, of course, when I was talking to my nephew Cameron, I said, hey, my hair's shorter than yours now. So, Flaming Hero says that story's better than I would have thought. It is what it is. I mean, the funny thing is that I just went, mother. And then I was like, I looked in the mirror. I was like, nothing I can do. So I'm taking it all off. My hair grows pretty fast. So yeah, I didn't freak out about it. I don't freak out about stuff anymore. It's just not worth it. That's why my stress level is actually pretty good. I don't stress out about stuff. All right. So that is it for this time out on Thursday's show. Remember, because my dad's 85th birthday, no show Wednesday. It'll be Thursday night. I am going to kick back and we are going to take a first look and page through Peterson's Anomalies, or I should say, Abominations. Why did I think it was Anomalies? It's modern Call of Cthulhu horror from Chaosium Inc. Yes, Peterson's Abominations, not Anomalies. So we're going to take a peek at this on Thursday's show. So JPF says, could have left it and told people it was a trench in honor of the World War I anniversary coming up. People would not understand that. They'd be like, at least most people. You're like, what? I know, I could be like, yeah, man, it's like I'm in a band. Okay. All right. Anyway. So that's it for this time out. So if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, also let you know when I upload other videos, such as tomorrow's review of Vampire the Masquerade Rivals from Renegade Games Studios. This will be up and live tomorrow morning, at least Central Time here in the US. So give it a peek. Find out what I think. I don't know. I don't know. You'll have to find out. So Flaming Heron says I could have started a new trend. Yeah, idiot hair. Hey, look, that guy's got idiot hair. Nice. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Gotta say, I was doing a video last week and I said, get your grill on. It's like, what? Where the hell did that happen? Get your grill on at thegaminggang.com. Some stuff just pops into my head. It goes from here to here real quick. So Flaming Hair says, well, there's people who shave their head on one side. I always wonder why they want a half-price haircut and pay full price for that half price. Well, half a haircut, I guess we'll say. Anyway, I will be back on Thursday. Once again, keep in mind, no show on Wednesday. So I'll be back on Thursday. So those of you who are watching live, thank you very much. Always appreciate people hanging out, keeping me company while I do the stream. There's also people out there I know catch the show all the time, but they don't have an opportunity to watch live. I appreciate anybody taking time out to watch this dingbat. So once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks everybody for watching. And of course, until I see you next time, here's hoping that you enjoy plenty of great gaming with your very own gang. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.